pray for Officer Nick Wilt. We pray for the families impacted by this event. We pray for all the officers, spouses.
Right now on the WHAS11 night team, the prayer vigil tonight for the Metro police officer shot in the head 1 month ago today, racing toward the mass shooting at Old National Bank.
Been an absolute progression that we are all stunned by.
And then
you're going to have more uses that will draw more people.
From the vacant police headquarters building to other downtown properties, the city has a new message to developers: we want you. Plus,
he just loved it here, and he loved the people, and I think he knew how much they loved him, and that made it important to him. I'm
talking one-on-one with Susan Sweeney Crum, the wife of the beloved coach. Her message to fans and her reaction to Rick Pitino's tweet about Denny Crum's passing. Right now on the WHAS 11 Night Team. And hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on the WHAS 11 Night Team. I'm Doug Prophet. We're following developing news late tonight. A man is dead after a shooting that happened in the Park Hill neighborhood of West Louisville. Police say they were called to the shooting just before 8 tonight on West Burnett Avenue near South 22nd Street. When officers arrived, they found a man who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Anyone who can help detectives with any information is urged to call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. Also happening tonight.
We want to do everything we can to reduce the amount of gun violence in our city, and working with state elected leaders, we can and will make this happen.
Strong words from Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg today, exactly 1 month since 5 employees were killed in a mass shooting at Old National Bank downtown. We are not forgetting, remembering the victims. Joshua Barrick, Jim Tutt, Tommy Elliott, Juliana Farmer, and Dina Eckert. And new word tonight about the recovery of the incredibly brave Metro police officer who was shot in the head while running toward the bank. Officer Nicholas Wilt suffered a critical brain injury, but today transferred into rehab. WHAS 11's Connor Steffen and photojournalist Ian Hardwitt covered a prayer vigil for him on this very important date.
Gathering together to mark
an absolute miracle.
On this day 1 month ago, April 10th.
Complete chaos.
A young LMPD officer, one of the first on the scene, running toward the gunfire of the mass shooting at Old National Bank. Officer Nick Wilt ran straight into the line of fire. The gunman shot him in the head.
An injury like that to the head is just an incredible feat to overcome.
But with plenty of prayer pouring in,
Father God, we just come before you tonight just knowing that there's nothing that's beyond your reach.
Came progress.
A couple of weeks ago, it was Officer Wilt opened his eyes, and then it was Officer Wilt raised his head. I think yesterday it was Officer Wilt sat up, and then today we're hearing that he is in rehab.
The stunning yet remarkable update shared by the Metro Police Foundation. Officer Wilt, who suffered a critical brain injury, is currently being transferred to rehab.
And shame on us for being stunned because he is an absolute warrior, but he is overcoming it.
The Police Foundation shares his mother Jackie's reaction with us tonight, saying she was even shocked at Wilt's progress, adding she's grateful for the community support.
Basically, it seems like he is showing major improvement.
Sergeant James Talley is one of the officers who have been tasked with staying at Wilt's side through the injury. This progress,
I love it. It's great news. Yeah, I'm very happy to hear that it's great progress.
But as a responding officer on the scene of the Old National Bank shooting, it's not lost on him the deep meaning this day brings.
It is. It's still hard to wrap my head around it because Louisville's our home.
A reminder that even as Officer Wilt makes immense progress.
So I think it is an indication of how resilient Louisville is.
The road ahead remains a tough uphill battle.
He's not done. He is a walking testimony.
Not just for a healing hero, but a healing city too. There have been some changes to the memorial here since the month at Old National Bank, but what remains is this heart made in the shape of the Old National Bank logo. Now, Officer Wilt's family admits that he is not out of the woods just yet, though they are hopeful, but still admit that it's going to be an uphill battle. If you'd like to help his family, you can go ahead and visit the Louisville Metro Police Foundation Facebook page to make donations there. We're live here at the Old National Bank Memorial. Connor Steffen, WHAS 11 on your side.
Connor, thank you very much. Quite the update tonight. Well, since that mass shooting and despite cries for help, Kentucky has seen no change in gun legislation to this point. A stark contrast from some other states we've been looking over today who have seen the same kind of tragic violence. In the wake of mass shootings in 2 Republican-led states, changes have already been put into motion. In Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee signing an executive order to strengthen background checks following a shooting at the private Christian school in Nashville. Meantime, a Republican-led committee advanced a bill that would raise the age limit to buy an AR-15 to 21 years old. The law being pushed by the families of Uvalde students in Texas, and more recently, the mall shooting in Texas from over the weekend, where 8 people were shot and killed in a mass shooting there. However, here in Kentucky, local and state Democratic lawmakers say talks are in the works. Lawmakers continue to say more needs to happen. We talked to the mayor and Democrat Kentucky Senator Gerald Neal.
We must communicate effectively. We must be very intentional and relentless about this.
Everyone in Louisville, everyone across the state wants to make Louisville a safer city, wants to do everything they can to reduce the amount of gun violence. So now we need to talk about the details about how we make that happen. And we've already identified some areas that we are working on where there is common agreement.
Since the mass shooting on April 10th, Democrats and Republican lawmaker Jason Nemus of Middletown have publicly mentioned a potential red flag law. Over the past month, by the way, our community has been raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for the victims of the mass shooting and their families. And now the Community Foundation of Louisville is asking for your help to decide how the donations will get divided. There will be 2 town hall meetings where you can attend. The first is coming up on Monday, May 22nd at 6 p.m. for the Louisville Chickasaw Park Survivors Fund. The second one will be the following day for the Old National Bank Survivors Fund, which has more than $600,000. Both events will happen at the downtown branch of the Louisville Free Public Library. All new here tonight on the 19, Susan Sweeney Crum. Today I sat down to talk one-on-one with Denny Crum's wife as she put the final touches today on the funeral and memorial services. The outpouring of your love to the Hall of Fame coach is being noticed by the family. And she also had some thoughts about Rick Pitino and his comments about Crum's passing.
But I was there with him, and it was just me and him, and that was nice.
By his side this week, by his side for nearly 22 years, Susan Sweeney Crum told me the beloved coach, her husband, never gave up.
He was such a fighter, and he had such a strong will anyway. I mean, he was strong. He had a strong will, super competitive, so maybe he didn't want, I'm not going out, I'm winning this.
On Valentine's Day this year, she surprised him with this tattoo. It's she and Denny as Cardinals sitting on a tree branch together.
And I said, I want you to see what I did here, and I'm going to show you. I said, I did this for you for Valentine's Day, and he was awake, and he was just kind of looking at me, and his eyes got real big, and he said, that's nice.
The coach had been bedridden at home in the care of hospice since December, but one by one, his players arrived.
I know he felt the love. I don't think you can't not feel the love.
And a lengthy visit from UK coach John Calipari.
Calipari always loved Denny, and Denny loved him. He respected him. He knew he's a great coach.
As the tributes started rolling in, today Susan was busy planning Crum's memorial. She asked me if Rick Pitino, the coach who had succeeded Denny Crum, had said anything. I read her Rick Pitino's tweet.
I was saddened to learn of the passing of Denny Crum. My prayers are with his family. He was beloved by all Cardinal fans.
I think he saw that all the time. I mean, how could you not see it when you're coaching, and he saw the admiration of fans whenever they put his picture on, and everybody stands up and cheers and yells, and you couldn't help but see how people responded to him. So I believe Coach Pitino definitely had a lot of respect for Denny. So that's nice. I'm glad to hear that.
But there were years under athletic director Tom Jurich when Crum felt the cold shoulder.
Coach Pitino was never the issue. I think he just kind of was what it was. But, I mean, he was always respectful to Denny. He treated him with respect, for sure. They were friendly. They were cordial.
Despite the tough years at U of L, Crum and Susan never stopped going to games.
I think efforts were made to just kind of wipe them away off the history books locally. But the fans knew better. The fans always knew better.
They sure did.
Yeah.
That ability to just let it roll off his back.
Every time they'd show him, there was the applause. Sometimes they'd stand. I mean, he loved it. He loved U of L. He loved all the teams. He loved his teams. He loved the other teams that came after him just because he loved the university.
She told me Denny lived such a great life because of his strong other interests, a true gift.
We just had fun. We had I got to do things I never would have done, and he had somebody who enjoyed doing things like that with him. I never fished before, but I grew to love it because I like being outside.
The tributes, his legacy. In the end, Susan wants to remember the coach this way.
He was just a regular guy in a lot of ways. Loved his family, loved his dogs.
Loved you.
Loved me. It was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, thank you for sharing him with us.
Well, I'm glad people love him as much as they do.
I'm going to give you a hug here. I want you to.
Always so strong, Susan Sweeney Crum, and she gave me this information about the visitation and funeral. The visitation for Denny Crum will be this coming Monday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Southeast Christian Church on Blankenbaker Parkway. The funeral will be on Monday, also at Southeast. It'll start at 2 p.m. It is open to the public. The burial will follow. It will be private. But later Monday night, again this coming Monday night, there will be a celebration of Denny's life at the KFC Yum Center downtown. That's going to be at 7 o'clock. You are all invited. U of L says you do need to claim a free ticket.